Late Night Health continues. We're going to be spending some time with Ian Stikeleather, and we're going to talk. He doesn't even know what we're going to talk about. We're going to be talking about how clothes can make you feel good, okay? You have a comment on that?
I had some clothes that made me feel bad.
I've seen some of those. You look very good today.
Oh, come on.
You look very good today. Can I tell people where you were?
I was teaching.
You were college level teaching. Yay!
4-year transferable college level teaching. Yeah.
Wow. Maybe he'll become, what is it? I can't think of the tenured. Tenured. A tenured teacher. Anyway, we're real proud of it.
A tethered teacher.
A tethered teacher. Or even a leathered teacher, as we spend some time with Ian Stikeleather. He started his business in his parents' basement in Indianapolis, and moved to L.A. He recently acquired White Plum, which is an online women's clothing retailer. You yourself are a men's fashion designer, Ian?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, well, designer / founder. You know what I mean? I had to design early on because there was, it was just me. But
got it.
Yeah.
And now there are more than just you.
Yes.
And
yes, now there are more of me.
Got it. Just keep in mind, I like bright colors, and I'm a size 40 short. Okay.
Okay, got it.
The expression "clothes makes the man," and "clothes makes the woman" too. Is that true?
I don't think it's completely like makes, but I do think, how we kind of behave differently depending on like kind of what we're wearing, or vice versa. Sometimes it's like I'm wearing this today because, I don't really want to be seen. I mean, we've all had a night out, right, where we've maybe indulged a little bit. The next day, what are we wearing? Like a hat, glasses, t-shirt, sweatpants. You're not strutting like Travolta in Saturday Night Fever, rocking that outfit.
Exactly. Well, it's funny. Go ahead.
I was recently interviewed on an internet radio program, and this woman that hosted the show is quite well known, and she was 10:30 in the morning hosting the show, and what she had on was what she had on the night before, because she woke up in a place that she didn't necessarily recognize. And came in a slinky black outfit. And I said, man, you dressed for the radio really nicely. She said, no, I dressed for last night really nicely. It just happens to be what I woke up in. Yeah.
Is that called I don't know if that's called the walk of shame or the Uber of regret. It's one of those.
It's definitely a woman in her 20s, because she was able to Uber her way to work. She was able to online pick a website where she could order someone to go walk her dog, and also get a meal delivered at the same time.
Oh, well.
Technology.
You know what? Multitasking is brilliant.
And
No question.
Thank you for smartphones.
Right.
Last week, it's funny, I was at a convention, and on my way to the convention, I fell. I took a big fall, and I ruined my jeans. I was wearing jeans and a sport coat and a dress shirt. I ruined the jeans, and I ruined the
shirt.
The shirt. Thank you. I had to remember what it was, and the only place open at 7:40 in the morning was Walmart. And I first of all, I find the people who work there sad. They're all have very sad faces, and the people who shop there sad. I was walking sadly because I was all banged up from falling, and I bought a pair of jeans. I'm wearing them today. They were $10, right? Not a bad price. I have no idea if the way they bleach these jeans are carcinogenic and my genitalia will fall off. However, they're not bad jeans. They don't say Levi's or Guest on the back. In fact, there's no label on the back. But can you relate to that? I mean, I really didn't want to buy these jeans.
Well, but that's great, because at Walmart you only spent what, like a little bit. You're only going to use these things once. But there is something to be said for that. But at the same time, it was 7 in the morning. It was an emergency. Walmart was there for you. Maybe just everyone's at Walmart just on their worst day. It's like people aren't going to the hospital every day. Maybe they just have to run to a Walmart.
That is true.
There was a 2 o'clock in the morning experience I had where I ended up in Tulsa and my bags ended up in Missouri somewhere. And I had to completely...
And Walmart was there for you.
Yeah, they were, and I had to outfit myself because the company I was working for required that I visit customers in a suit. Yeah,
right.
So it was the best money that I had and the best that they had.
Yeah, it's gnarly, but Walmart gets a bad rap. The most well-respected corporate citizen. But I was in college. It was right after Katrina, and it was part of a project. I had to go down to Gulfport, Mississippi, and I had to work with the local Chamber of Commerce, help to rebuild, and it was just like they got the worst of it. It was whole neighborhoods that were just concrete steps going up to no more houses, and all like the gambling Gulfport, Mississippi scene was all shut down there. But sure enough, like the Walmart refused to close. It was like the only business to lay anybody off. They were actually trucking people to other Walmarts further away so they could keep their job at like reduced hours. And I was super impressed. I was like, man, the people on the ground here at Walmart are like gathering around the community. No joke.
Yeah, well, thank you for pointing that out and giving me some hope that Walmart is a good neighbor. Hey, let's talk about buying clothing online, both men's and women's. You've just, as I said, recently acquired White Plum, which is an online women's clothing retailer, and I like going to a store and feeling the shirt, okay, or feeling the pants. I'm tactile that way. I'm also I'm picky. I like an all-cotton shirt. Rather than even the 95% cotton, 5% rayon polyester blends that they're coming out with to be a little bit stretchy. I don't like the feel of those as much as I like all cotton. Is retail clothing going to Macy's and Nordstrom's going away?
Really kind of interesting, because I was just going to say there's hope for you, because I think retail shopping is going to turn into like an experiential thing, right? Where you have an experience there. Because think about like shopping, and what's the rest of your day? You have to put bags in the trunk, carry that around, blah, blah, blah. I mean, with people reinventing like same-day delivery and things like that, and like Uber starting to get into delivery and things like that, there's no reason that you couldn't go to a store, try something on, get it, and then literally, like you would do shopping overseas, ship it home, or just ship it to me and it will literally be at your place tomorrow. You don't have to carry around the bags, things like that. But that being said, the number of stores and physical retail outlets will become much smaller, because the shopping won't be so much like, they won't have to hold so much inventory right there. So the shops will be smaller, things like that, where it will be, here's what's available to try on, get exactly what, and then it'll be at your place tomorrow.
Well, you can go to,
later in the day, perhaps, the way it's going.
You can go to Macy's right now, online, look at a shirt or a pair of pants, buy it, they give you an extra 20% off, and pick it up at your local Macy's. Macy's is the 5th largest online retailer in the country right now. Amazon being number 1, Walmart I think is number 2. I can't remember 3 and 4, but Macy's is number 5. And what really impresses me is that Macy's is also closing 200 stores this year.
So it shows their stock price shows it too. But that being said, it's going to be a fewer number of stores. But the experience, and for them, they don't need as much. They can keep those earning. They can keep, they can keep growing, or at least, and they didn't this year. But they can change the model, grow into a different kind of model that might be a lot leaner and have a lot better margins for them.
Let's take a look at White Plum. One of the attractions that you found was that your sister, your mother, and your grandmother had all purchased from White Plum?
Yeah, it's got some like multi-generational appeal. And we definitely have a certain demographic that I think White Plum kind of appeals to. Our three biggest markets have been Utah, Dallas, and Atlanta. And so it gives you kind of an idea of, the kind of customer that we've got. It's not as coastal, but that being said, our biggest markets are where people live as well. Behind those, it's New York, LA, and Chicago. But yeah, it's got some multi-generational appeal, and that's one of the beauties of LA. I like that when you first got on the phone before the interview, you were talking about LA, being one of the most exciting cities. And what I'm really excited about is the breadth of like merchandise and commerce that flows through here. It's sort of being like, a little bit of a gateway to Asia, and everything that comes through Long Beach is here in the garment district. So we're able to really move through merchandise quickly, and that lets us play around with, our demographics a little bit. It lets us have some things that are younger and brighter, and maybe, like a catchy graphic T-shirt that's maybe a little edgy, but then also have like, a tunic for like for a mom or like a grandmother in my case. So those kind of things let us really explore the market and explore, what works for our demo and our sales channels and who's paying attention to our voice right now. But that's something that's really exciting to me about the city, and something that also excited me about White Plum is it's like, wow, it gives me a platform to really play around with bringing the merchandise and, really nail that product mix.
Do you also have a men's clothing line still?
I do. Stikeleather Apparel. It's actually we're actually redoing the site here in about a couple weeks when our new fall collection comes out. I usually do about one collection a year for Stikeleather. We use all magnetic closures, no buttons, no zippers. And so it's you can find that on stikeleatherapparel.com, and so that'll be coming out here fairly soon. That's really kind of what I pioneered back home in Indiana before I came out west, was that magnetic closure and kind of how to perfect that.
Ian, it's been a pleasure speaking to you, and clothes do make the men and the women. And we encourage people to take a look at your websites, White Plum and Stikeleather. You can find more information about Ian by going to latenighthealth.com. Look under the guest tab under Ian Stikeleather, and you will find all the information, his picture, a little bio, and links to his website as well. We're out of time with Ian, but coming up next, we're going to spend some time with Robert Clancy, the author of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Soul. Late Night Health continues. Don't you dare go away. More coming up. Hold on, Ian.
The experts at Web.com want to build your business a successful website for free, just like we did for these current Web.com customers.
We've looked at other website designers. There's nobody better than Web.com.
Web.com can build your website in as little as 7 days free. Plus, we'll promote it on all the major search engines. If after 30 days you're happy, we'll continue to provide promotion, hosting, support, and maintenance, all for one low monthly fee. If not, cancel and pay nothing.
If you're in business and you don't have a web presence, you won't be taken seriously.
Call right now and you'll also get a free .com or .net domain name for your new website, powered by VeriSign, the world's leading domain name provider.
No upfront charge for site build, after which ongoing fees apply. Rights to site are relinquished when canceled. Domain included during active service, after which fees apply.
800-489-8751. 800-489-8751. 800-489-8751. That's 800-489-8751. Attention users of the blood-thinning drug Xarelto. If you took the drug Xarelto and experienced complications such as cerebral hemorrhage, gastrointestinal bleeding or other internal bleeding, or if a loved one has died after taking Xarelto, you may be eligible to get a cash award for your suffering. Call the Xarelto Help Hotline now at 1-800-264-3150. That's 800-264-3150. To qualify for a cash settlement, you must file a claim before the deadline, so don't miss your opportunity for a cash settlement. Call 800-264-3150 now for a free, no-obligation consultation. Our call center is open 24/7. So if you took the drug Xarelto and experienced cerebral hemorrhage, gastrointestinal bleeding, or other internal bleeding, or if a loved one has died after taking Xarelto, call the Xarelto Help Hotline now at 800-264-3150, 800-264-3150. That's 800-264-3150.